Hey, it's John Siskovich. I'm processing a batch of chickens, 12 chickens to be exact. I'm doing it not for sale, and I want to show you my setup, and I'm going to walk through each station individually and show you what I have, why I have it, and what it's used for. So here's station one of the chicken tractors that I had out on field while I was raising this batch, especially a little bit bigger than I do for my normal sale because we were going to use it for home use. So the birds have been out in this pasture, and this was their last rotation spot. So no stress, really easy way, it came up to where we were going to process. I set it up that morning. The birds were in here, and as we processed, took them out of the chicken tractor, went super smooth. So station two is the killing cones. You have the chicken tractor behind me, the killing cones next to me. The birds in the chicken tractor don't really know what's going on, so I don't see that it's that big of a problem. If I was doing this a larger batch, or if I was doing it more consistently, I would put it somewhere higher up where it was easier for me to work. But for ease of use for today and setup, just an old sawhorse, screwed in the killing cones, got the job done, and then moving on. Station three, scalding. You can see the propane tank behind me. One propane line from one tank goes to 2 burners. This was a big thing for me when I started processing. On a very similar setup to what I'm showing you, I processed 1,300 birds. And through those mistakes, I found out that balancing 2 propane tanks, not the most fun. The reason why I have 2 pots is you have one for clean water, one for dirty water. You always want to have another pot with water heating up, because as you process birds, you're going to want 2 things. Either to bring your temperature back up, because you want a proper scalding temperature between 150 to 160 degrees in your pot. So you either want to bring your temperature up, or you want to recycle some of that water. Not recycle, but kind of upcycle, where you take some of the dirty water out, skim the stuff off the top, and put some clean water back in it. So 2 burners has been really effective if you're going to do the home turkey fryer option if you don't have an official scalder. Scalders are expensive, and this has done really well for me. I can do 60 birds in a morning, no problem with this system. Right here is a little add-on to the scalding place. I have this for relighting the fire. Sometimes you don't need to keep the fire going all day. I have a generic oven thermometer for checking the water temperature. Works really well, at least it has for me. And then, because I don't like to use plastic as much as possible, I have a stainless steel pot, and I use this pot with this handle to scoop out dirty water, to take the clean water, to bring the scalding pot back up to temperature, what I just talked about. So a little handy pot. And I have this to hide the plug for the plucker, which we'll see next, but it doubles as my table for all of my stuff. This guy is the most important thing when you are processing more than maybe 2 chickens, is a plucker. This belongs to a friend of mine who let me borrow it. In return, I'm giving him a chicken. We're working off barter. It's an easy plucker from CC Only. It's a really great plucker. It's done the job for me. I did 1,300 birds in 1 year on this guy, and now I get them outsourced to the USDA processing plant. But when I was doing it at home, it was on this easy plucker. There's plans online to build your own plucker. You can use various different things. My suggestion is not to bank on doing it by hand, because you're going to drive yourself insane. Last station, and I'm showing off a table, but I got a stainless steel table off of Craigslist for about 130 bucks a couple of years ago. It's moved farms with me. It's very useful. I use it for a whole number of things, but when I'm processing birds, this stainless steel table helps. As for the stuff on the table, let me get behind the camera and I'll show you what I got here. So because I'm processing on a stainless steel table, I have plastic cutting boards. It keeps the chicken from sliding off the table, and as you're cutting, it keeps your knife sharp, because you're not cutting metal on metal, you're cutting metal on a more soft surface with the cutting board. For knives, I have no specific knife that I can specifically recommend. What I really recommend is having a steel on hand to sharpen your knives as you go. You want your knives to be really sharp at all time. Accidents don't happen with sharp knives, they happen with dull knives. So these are 2 Victorinox knives. This is a Chicago Cutlery something knife. It's essentially a steak knife, but just a little jazzier. This is my personal favorite. It's got a rubber handle so it doesn't slip, but the knife blade is a little bit bigger than some people like it. The people I process with like the smaller blades. I also keep a pair of poultry shears in case there's any special trimming that needs to be done. And what is not pictured here is a little tiny set of pliers for picking out pin feathers. Then what I don't have pictured here is tubs with ice water in it to put the birds in to chill them. That's something that you're going to want to do. It depends on how many birds you're doing, if they're for sale, if they're not for sale. We weren't doing them for sale, and I had several grills going, and it was a kill, grill, and chill day where we killed the birds, then put them right on the grill. Should have let the meat rest, but we didn't do it perfectly. I only had so much time. Killed the birds, grilled them on the grill, and then pulled the meat off, put them in 1 pound vacuum seal bags, and then chilled it. We freeze them, and that's what we use in the winter. When you're feeling lazy, you can thaw 1 pound of already cooked chicken and throw it into whatever. So it was a kill, grill, and chill day. That's something that we're going to turn into a yearly tradition just because it's worked out so well. Did it last year by mistake and this year on purpose. Any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And until next time, after this lengthy video, I'll see you guys out in the field.